Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Joe and Joe Weather Show, brought to you by Wholesale Holiday Lighting by Giannini, your complete holiday lighting specialist. Excuse me, and they are at 162, sorry about that, 162 Ocean Avenue in Lindenhurst. And they will meet all your holiday decorating needs, no matter what they are. Their telephone number is 631-957-5106. Whether you're getting your house decorated or maybe you want to be a decorator during the holidays, give them a call. liholidaylighting.com is the website. And with spring knocking on the door, also brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware, where they got mulch, topsoil, gravel, and everything else you need to get your yard in tip-top shape. 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon. 631-756-1125 for the best prices in town. OmniTrueValue.com, the website, and both Omni and Giannini are local businesses, and do what you can to support local businesses. And Joe, I have a surprise here for you. Are you ready?
I'm all ready.
Okay, I want you to meet JJ. JJ.
Oh, there he is.
Yes.
Hi, JJ.
Actually, JJ is laying down right next to me. I got him this morning at the Blairsville Animal Shelter. He's a year and a half, and he's half Australian Shepherd, and not 100% sure what the other half is. Judging from his markings, I thought maybe he might be half Dalmatian, but I'm not 100% sure. But he's a mid-sized dog like my Cody was when I had my Springer Spaniel, and he's taken to the house very well. We went on a long walk. I think I left my shoulder there. Every time he saw a squirrel, my arm and my shoulder went that much further out of my socket. But
I know the feeling.
yeah,
A long friendship for you and JJ over all of these upcoming years.
Thank you. He's so far so good, and he's liking the new house, and he's liking the yard, and everything else that goes with it. So we're
now, only you and those of a certain age would understand this. But if you get another dog, you know what you should name that one?
No.
The Governor.
Oh, right, the Governor and JJ. I remember that show. Who played the Governor?
This is something if I sat here and thought about this.
And who played the daughter?
JJ.
JJ.
Yeah, I have to think about this for. I only this morning was thinking about the TV show Arnie that used to be on Saturday nights with
Herschel Bernardi. Sure,
right,
I used to watch. I was an Arnie watcher.
Yeah. Well, I'll dwell upon the Governor and JJ because we just brought this up. but congratulations to you and to JJ for a very long life.
Thank you. So last we left, we didn't see a whole lot of weather, quote unquote weather going on. And when we say that, we mean nasty stuff. But that warm up is going to finally get underway tomorrow. The seeds are already planted, and tonight I think the temperatures are going to probably settle in the upper 20s and mid 30s for lows. Not really going, even though temperatures really didn't get far today, they weren't supposed to. But tomorrow it'll be a different story. We should have a decent launching pad in the morning, the March sun, a decent land-based wind, and we should at least make a run for 60 in some places, I think.
I think the temperatures tomorrow here in the Hudson Valley will today here at the home base, we didn't get any higher than 41, despite the fact that we had abundant sunshine much of the day. But tomorrow, I'm hoping we'll be able to get to double nickels, your favorite number.
All right. Well, it definitely should get six. New York, south and west of New York City, I think for sure we'll get into the low and middle 60s. And I still think, by the way, Wednesday is going to be a problem from New York City north and east with the south wind. That's going to probably hold temperatures back. But west and south of there, and you head down towards southern PA and down into Maryland and Virginia, it should easily make the 60s. There might even be an odd 70 down around the Washington D.C. Baltimore area. And Thursday to me, and maybe even Friday, even though there's a cold front that's going to pass on through, it comes through later in the day. I think both those days, but certainly Thursday, could be the day that somebody gets to 70.
I agree with you, and I also agree that even on Friday with the cold frontal passage, and there might be a shower or two here and there. I'm really not impressed by the moisture accompanying that front. But I think on Friday we'll see the peak. Well, I think temperatures on Friday could even, cross your fingers, but could even hit 70, maybe in Midtown, or if not Midtown, maybe Newark or Teterboro. Teterboro, I think, has a warm bias, but in any case, we're definitely going to be flirting with 70 on Thursday and probably Friday as well. And it's a long time in coming.
Joe Rayo is monitoring the chat board tonight because I cannot. So Joe will keep an eye on things in case we get some technical issues. You folks on the chat board are always good about letting us know about that, and we appreciate it. And what else?
Somebody on the chat board asked, "Do I drive a Camaro?"
Who asked that question?
I'm not sure who asked that question. I definitely saw it a few minutes ago, but the answer to that question is no. I don't drive a Camaro.
No, and I don't either.
My wife drives my wife's car is a Subaru, and mine is or actually they're both our cars, but we have an SUV, a Santa Fe, and a Subaru, but no Camaros. So.
All right. I don't know why he thought you maybe he thought you were the Camaro type.
Maybe I can't see myself behind the wheel of a Camaro, but in any case,
yeah,
there you go.
So I got the U.S. satellite loop up, Joe. Sometimes when you transition over into a warmer air mass, you get a warm front this time of year that goes by with clouds and maybe a shower. And if you look on the satellite, folks, you can actually see there are clouds in upstate New York and moving in through New England. The southern edge of those high clouds looks like they come down to about southern PA, central New Jersey. There's not really much to it. That really is signaling the warmer air. And you look out to the west across the Great Lakes and down through the Ohio and Tennessee Valley and into the southeast and North Florida and even into central Florida, there's hardly a cloud in the sky. And our air is basically going to be coming from this region over the next couple of days into the northeast and mid-Atlantic states. Joe, I was 21 this morning here, 21, and got to 63 this afternoon. It gets cold at night here.
18. We got down to 18 up here, but we didn't make it as high as you did. We only, as I said, got to 41, and we're hoping for mid 50s tomorrow in the mid-afternoon hours. Not as cold tonight, in part because of those clouds you just mentioned, Joe. They're mid to high level clouds, but that should be enough to keep us from getting down as low as what we've been the last couple of nights. And I wouldn't even be surprised if the temperatures started to rise a little bit as we move on toward daybreak tomorrow morning. Maybe our low temperature tonight will actually come before midnight, and then we'll perhaps level off and start to climb a little bit toward daybreak.
Well, if you want to know where the trough is, it's going to be in the west. And I brought up the snowfall forecast map. This is through Thursday evening, and there's going to be a whole lot more of this over the weekend and into next week. So this is just the beginning. Seeing snow in Colorado, western half of Colorado. Eventually that's going to take over the whole state. Wyoming, back through Utah, Nevada, and heavy snows in the Sierra Nevadas up California, up to several feet being forecast there, and also into parts of Northern California, and also some snows up into the Northern Rockies. So the West is going to be the place where we're going to probably see a lot of action snow-wise in the next 7 to 10 days. And it kind of makes sense because, Joe, this time of March and April For example, if you look at the snowfall statistics for Denver, for example, their snow March and April are snowier months than usually are snowier months than January and February.
That's interesting. And considering that out there we have a Major League Baseball team, and in fact, I remember some years ago the Colorado Rockies playing at Coors Field, which is in Denver, which is 5,000 plus feet above sea level. They had a few games snowed out because of the fact that they had some late season snowfalls in the Denver area. So yeah, I could understand that they do get late season snowfalls more so than what they see, as you just mentioned, Joe, in January and February.
Yeah, on the radar tonight, there are some, again, that warm front is producing a few snow showers well up into upstate New York. You can see it on the radar crossing northern New York and into parts of Vermont as they make the transition over into that warmer air mass. What's over the rest of the eastern two-thirds of the United States, literally nothing going on. What you're seeing down in the southeast is the nighttime fake echoes that show up sometimes. But we do have some real precip up in northern Montana and also back through parts of Idaho and in through northern California and up the west coast. Again, that's where the game is going to be played here over the coming days. Let's just I'm going to bring up WPC's precip forecast here. Hang on one second. Today was one of those days, Joe, where I had technical issues with my computer left and right. It was just I finally got things to settle down. So here we are through next Monday evening, Joe. Still not a drop of precip in much of southern New England, down through New Jersey and eastern Pennsylvania, and only light precip, less than 1/10 of an inch, running down the East Coast. Heavier precip of several inches, and this is all going to be rain across the southern plains and middle Mississippi Valley and nudging into the Ohio Valley. And you see heavier precip also in Colorado, particularly in the eastern part of Colorado, with 1.5 inches of liquid or more, and that's going to be snow. And also up and down California from south to north, the whole state getting into some heavier precip. And of course, in the mountains, it's going to be snow. And I think you're going to probably see snow extend fairly far south into California at some point in the next 7 days. But we're still dry here. If this is right, we're going to be, we're going to stay dry here through Monday.
Yes, indeed. I guess they're not taking into account even the chance for a couple of stray showers around here on Friday with the cold frontal passage. And by the way, I'm not sure, Joe, you said you don't have access to or a view of the chat board, but I do want to mention, just for you and your new doggie, that Bill Fisher has hit Super Chat with treats for JJ.
Oh, thank you, Bill Fisher. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Where JJ was next to me laying down. I think he went someplace else to lay down. He's very tired because we walked several miles together today. Being the kind of breed that he is, he needs to be. He has a lot of energy. So guess who's going to be spending a lot of time trying to get him to expend his energy and mine? Me. And that's what we're going to be doing.
You just know that there's going to be one morning where he's going to wake you at the crack of dawn because he has to go.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we'll see. I'm going to take him out right after the show is over, and hopefully that'll be it for the night. There's been, I don't know if you got to look at the models yesterday. There was one run of the GFS yesterday. I don't know if it was the 12Z or the 18Z run that gave something like 32 inches of snow over us in the longer range. Obviously, on the next run, it's all gone. And I was looking at the long range today on the models, and it's after a few days where it seemed like the models were having a very difficult time kind of figuring out where we were going to go with all of this. They've now all settled upon the fact that we're going to see deep troughing in the west. Now here's where, on Friday, if you notice here on the European, A lot of folks always ask why I don't use the European. Well, I'm using it now. So we do use it from time to time. It's just that the GFS offers usually more products. So if you look at the European, this is on Saturday's jet stream. We have a cold front that'll come through on Friday, and it kind of makes sense here because you've got this upper low and trough in eastern Canada that extends down into the northeast. Very vigorous system here in Arizona in the southwest, which is why I'm talking about maybe we'll probably see snow in parts of Southern California that normally don't see it this time of year. But that deep low there in the south, we're going to get a shot of chilly air after this warming is done. But as we go forward, Joe, the trough just kind of stays down in the west, and the ridge stays in the east. I mean, I'm kind of looking at this upper air. There's probably going to be a fairly decent amount of cold air that's going to come down from northern Canada right down into the western half of the United States. But look at this. I mean, this is next Wednesday, so the day after St. Patty's Day. We've got a ridge in the Bahamas and a south-southwest flow here in the eastern part of the United States. So if you're looking for a late season snowfall here, folks, and I'm just about ready to throw in the towel. In March, if you've got the snowy cold pattern in the first half of the month, you can do something with it. Obviously, we had the cold part, but the block was too strong. Everything was suppressed. So now the clock is really working against you. So you could wind up in a chilly, favorable pattern in the latter part of March, Mr. Rayo, but it's got to be perfect. I mean, you're going to have a perfect setup with a perfect amount of cold air in order to do something from the standpoint of snow.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. All I'm asking for Central Park is 1.4 inches, but if I may have to fight for that 1.4 inches, maybe a couple of tenths of an inch here, maybe a tenth or two of an inch there. It does not look, as I agree with you, Joe. And how many places have you seen over the last 2, 3, 4 days where people have been posting long range, snow accumulations for the eastern or northeastern United States, showing all kinds of ridiculous numbers like 5, 10, 15, 20.
Right,
And,
off the model snow maps.
And they always say the same thing. Now, this is not a forecast. Then if it's not a forecast, why show it? Why
exactly. I'm looking at this upper air on the GFS today, for example, on the latest run. I mean, you do have cold air in Canada, but the problem is, you don't. My God, you got a vortex that's sitting out east of Newfoundland and a ridge that builds up in eastern Canada and a really deep upper low in western Canada. It's not, to me, and the flow is split because you do have, this another one of these wrapped up southern. Who knows if that's even real? I mean, when I see mega cutoffs like that, when I see something like this.
Over the southeastern states.
Yeah, whenever I see that in the long range, my antenna goes up and says, "This looks weird," and 99% of the time, it never winds up looking that way. But
true.
Yeah, I mean that's a really wrapped up cold feature. My God, Joe,
Unless you have a category 3 hurricane that just moved inland from the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, exactly. And we know we don't have that. So let's bring up the matching surface map with this. By the way, if you want to share anything, you got the share abilities here. It's turned on for you. I mean, there's some kind of low. There's a low with a lot of rain there in the southeast that starts to move up. Again, that's going to be so different on the next run. Just waiting for the circle of death to continue as I run the maps backwards.
You see now that high, which is just south of Yarmouth, Nova Scotia, that 1037 high. If we could possibly get that 1037 high to be sitting somewhere near Buffalo, then I would tell you that, yeah, that looks like an interesting setup. But if it's where it is, and if we indeed do have a major storm, this one has a position somewhere over western South Carolina. That has to, in that type of situation, has to be one where it's going to bring up a lot of rain and not a lot of the white stuff. So, but it
Right.
is, after all, spring by the 24th of March.
Exactly. So there's your high for tomorrow, sitting well right near, not too far from Savannah, between Savannah and Charleston, and it kind of reforms up in northern New Jersey on Wednesday. So again, there's Wednesday's the day where the coastal areas and south and southern New England might have to deal with the south wind. But then the wind goes southwest on Thursday, and on the isobars or southwest, the wind could actually be more west southwest, and that should help to really heat things up. And here's that really non-impressive front that goes through for Friday. Now, the weekend looks kind of chilly, particularly Sunday, I think, with this big high coming down, this 1032 high. But the next system, and you're seeing that the GFS actually develops a low in North Texas and produces some pretty hefty looking snows there in parts of Colorado. I think that's legit to a large degree. That low lifts up into the Dakotas because there's another trough that's coming down to the west. Now, the model wants to have this sort of long arm of moisture on Tuesday that runs out ahead. And there's your blue snow there, Joe, if you can hold on to it over New Jersey and the Hudson Valley. This almost looks like it looks like a gigantic warm front that's pushing northeast. And then after that, we go into a southwest flow. And it has a couple of waves on a front that has trouble getting through here. There's your chance again, right around the 19th, 20th, St. Joseph's Day. It's got a front offshore, shows a little bit of snow there in Pennsylvania and southeastern New York, and then moving on out to the northeast. Look, I'll say it again. We're at a point this time of year where it's got to be perfect, and I'm just not seeing it. The other thing I want to take a look at here is with respect to severe weather, because now that we're in the month of March, I should start to see some more severe weather outbreaks at some point. It would seem like the system over the weekend could be a severe weather producer in parts of Texas, Colorado, and Kansas here, and then eventually moving into the middle and lower Mississippi Valley for next Monday. So I'm sure that'll be something that SPC is going to keep an eye on. Let me just see if they've got anything on their board. No. Ooh.
You sound like Tootie.
Yeah. Okay. So Wednesday they have a marginal risk, and that marginal risk is in parts of Kansas and northwest Missouri. So, and then they've got 3 days of severe weather outlined on day 5, day 6, and day 7. And predictability too low for on day 4, but 5, 6, 7, and also predictability too low for day 8. So it's those day 5, day 6, day 7, which would be Friday to Saturday, Saturday into Sunday, and Sunday into Monday. So SPC's already got the risk areas on the board, so you know what that means.
That means that we're talking about a very good possibility of convection, even a week out. It's not in our area, but it's over in the central part of the nation. I guess the central and southern plains, and that's something that doesn't happen too often. Even something else that doesn't happen too often, Joe, is consecutive days on the long range for SPC. I mean, it's one thing to see it, see a chance of something on day 5, but to see it on day 5, 6, and 7, 3 days in a row, that doesn't happen very, very often. In fact, I don't even remember the last time it did happen.
David Fuller and Johnny Quest, both super chat hitters tonight. Thank you so much. And Johnny Quest has a question for you, Joe. He wants to know, is there anything interesting as far as astronomy is concerned over the next couple of weeks that we should be paying attention to? Nothing?
This is a very dull month. No, there's not much at all to really talk about. There's no And some of the problem is a lot of the planets are too close to the sun right now. We have Jupiter and Mercury, Venus. Venus we've pretty well have lost now until sometime at the end of April or May. Mars is up there. Mars is near the Pleiades star cluster. If you want to go outside right now or after the show is over, have a pair of binoculars. But Mars has gotten a lot dimmer since it's moved much further away from the Earth than it was last October. So no, there's really not much to talk about for the moment, sky-wise. The next really big event, and all of you could make note of it on your calendar, will be on June the 10th, when we're going to have an eclipse of the sun, and the sun is going to rise like a slice of cantaloupe melon. It's going to rise. It's going to look, as it comes above the horizon, it's going to be 80% eclipsed. And if we have one of those really hazy days, Joe, where the sun looks like a big orange ball as it comes up above the horizon,
Right.
on that morning, instead of a big orange ball, it's going to look like a big slice of cantaloupe melon, an orange yellow slice of a crescent. That'll be something really interesting, and hopefully we'll be able to see it. It'll be just 3 months from from Wednesday.
All right.
Right.
So the chat.
Wednesday's the 10th.
Yes.
So 3 months from now, June the 10th. So until then, not much really to get too excited about.
So, Joe, the chat board is saying that I'm too loud. I'm going to tell you something. I had a Windows update that came through yesterday, this morning, I'm sorry. And every time that it does that, it screws up with my audio levels. So I just checked your audio levels, and they are fine on my end. Oh, wait, one of them is not. Let me fix this. Hold on. Hopefully this will do the trick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Joseph, talk to me.
Hello. How are you, everybody?
Yes. Hold on a sec. I mean, you're sounding fine to me on my end here, and I'm just fixing. Let's. All right. Like as I said, it loves to do this, where it changes the settings every time it does a Windows update. So if hopefully I was able to adjust it here, and that improves it. Let us know, folks, if there's a problem, and my apologies for that.
Reaver 501. Yeah, what?
Go ahead. I was about to say the same thing you are.
Reaver 501 said he has heard that there's going to be a total solar eclipse in western New York soon. Well, yes and no, unless you think that soon is tomorrow. That's not the soon that we're talking about. April the 8th, 2024. And if you go up to Plattsburgh, to Syracuse, to Rochester, to Buffalo, and Joe, the Chamber of Commerce of Buffalo is going to use that eclipse to try to entice people to come to Buffalo in April.
Oh.
If you want to see that eclipse, Buffalo is not the place you want to be in April to see it. They could still have quite a bit of snow up there at that time of the year, but it will be a big event. It'll run from Texas all the way up through the Ohio Valley to western New York, and then on up to Montreal. Montreal's a nice place, but they too could be rather cloudy in April, and then continuing on to Nova Scotia and off the coast at Bonavista, Newfoundland. So, but that's in 2024, April 8th, 2024, a Monday, in case you are looking on your perpetual calendar.
Joe, do me a favor. Try it without your headsets. Go back to
without my head.
Yeah, try it without the headset and see what happens with this, because I'm getting my audio is okay. Yours they can barely hear. Now we can lip read you. I'm not. Yeah, I'm Joe. You're getting nothing. You have to turn your audio on. Isn't this lovely? No, nothing. Not hearing you. There you go.
What?
Now we can hear you. Now I can hear you.
Oh, good. Oh, once again, I'll be getting rid of this. Take these.
No, first of all, you didn't have this in the right position.
But they physically
Press the
cannot hear
button.
me.
The mic, that's all.
The following program is brought to you in living color on the NBC network.
Now, I know that before, no, wait a minute now. I know that when we started, there was a few people who were saying, Joe Rayo sounds wonderful.
Yes.
So what happened all of a sudden?
I don't know. Then some people said that your audio was very low and mine was very high. Then a few people were saying that both of us were fine, and at the same time, some other people were saying they could only hear me and not you.
Now, can you read this? What does that say?
Chiaffi's network bandwidth is low.
Your bandwidth is low, Joe.
Oh, I think my bandwidth is about a size 36. Oh, good Lord. Again, thank you, Microsoft. Thank you. We've had no problems for the last couple of weeks. Every single time they do an update on Windows 10, I have everything, whatever settings I have, they are thrown out the window. I have to go back step by step and find one by one what is going on. Yes, David, they are a wonderful couple, and they still will be after the show. No, I'm not getting a MacBook, Jason.
Joe is in trouble now.
Yes, the executive producer, correct.
Yes.
All right, so Paul Roman says your audio is still low. I don't know what the problem is. This, again, is going to be just such a mess for me to try to figure out. Thank you, Microsoft. Thank you so much for doing this. Okay, no, I don't care when Windows 12 is coming out, Mark G. We don't care. What was that?
Do I hear a ringtone? Obviously, you hear a ringtone. Speak and pause. Do you hear a replay? Yes.
Okay, and Johnny Quest says he hears us both fine. So I don't know what's going on. I do. Here's my mic. Okay, so that's what I use, and my mic is right here. So,
fancy.
Yeah, it actually didn't cost me very much. I bought it on Amazon. I think I paid like $25 for it, and it was recommended as one of the higher quality mics. So it hopefully will be and remain so. All right, you know what? Let's do a little Briller Jeopardy, shall we?
Yes.
I think the chairman is out tonight doing his usual COVID run, so let me find it. Okay, here we go. So, let's see. So, here we go. So tonight, the category are real final Jeopardy questions. Now, there is, you already said the correction for the first one. The first Southern Hemisphere city to host the Olympics.
Was it Rio de Janeiro?
No, sorry.
No. It was Melbourne, Australia.
That is correct. Yes, Melbourne, Australia. Question 2. The Beatles had 20 #1 songs on the Billboard chart. Their shortest title had only 4 letters in it. What was the song?
Help.
I need somebody.
Help. I need
somebody. Help. Okay, question 3. Of the first 7 presidents, the only 2 that were not reelected.
George Washington.
No, that is incorrect. He served 2 terms.
He did serve 2 terms?
Yes, he did.
How about John Adams?
That is one of the 2.
And Thomas Jefferson?
No, he served 2 terms.
Okay.
Not John Adams, but
John Quincy Adams.
That is correct. Question 4. Flying due west from Los Angeles. It's the first foreign country you would reach.
Now I'm trying to figure out if Los Angeles is like 34 degrees latitude. Where is Japan? I think Tokyo is at 40. Would it still be Japan?
Japan is the correct answer.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
Yes, it is. So, you did okay. You did pretty good tonight.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Jason Schaefer said Fiji. Keith James II said Philippines. Eli said Russia. And
nope.
Said Korea. Eli
the answer is Japan. Japan. Okay. So I think that wraps it up for tonight. We're going to have to work on this audio issue, so we'll maybe do it during the day tomorrow when you have time, okay? Does that work?
Yes, I'm going. I won't be around in the morning. I'm getting a haircut. Actually, I'm getting a mole cut.
Well, that's good. Make sure they get the right color again.
Yeah.
Remember,
if I would have dyed this hair, how old would you think I would look? I still think I would look what my age is. So.
Yeah, but you know what? What color would you dye it? Black? Brown? Ginger?
Green?
Oh God. What are you gonna do? All right, we're gonna try to fix this problem up tomorrow. So hopefully everything will be better. Okay. So everyone, have a great night. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it, especially when the weather is quiet. A lot of people are on board when the weather is active, but it's you loyal followers that are on here when the weather is quiet, and we really do appreciate it because you do make the show. Okay, so thank you. Thank you very much.
Do you really want to stop here when we're 17 short of
100?
100 likes?
Well, we could. I mean, if they want to hit the thumbs up button. By the way, every day, and this is I have to just because I think it's hilarious. Every day, the same. Well, today it's 2 people, but every day before the show starts, it's got to be the same person hits the thumbs down button. I set the show up early this morning. I opened up the chat board early because I wanted to check all the technicals with regards to what happened today with this Microsoft update. So I checked in the middle of the afternoon. Sure enough, there it was. That thumbs down. The thumbs down button was already. I mean, can you imagine, Joe? You wait to. You don't like a show. You don't like it, and that's perfectly fine. We all have things we don't like, correct? But to spend any time just to purposely come on and hit the unlike button, why?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
I have no idea why the missus is back. But
to see if you can fix the microphone thing.
To see if I fix the microphone. Now it's not to the point where she's not even waiting anymore for us to close out the show. I thought
you were done.
Oh well, we will be.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying a word.
See, what's really
good night, everybody.
Good night. You actually sound great to me. I'm going to say good night too. Good night, everybody. Have a great one.